WCAX, the Channel 3 News presents You Can Quote Me.
And thank you for joining us this Sunday morning. I'm Darren Perrin. Right now on You Can Quote Me, from pageants to saving people, the platforms and plans for the new Miss Vermont and Miss Vermont's teen. Plus, are you wondering how your child got a hold of that vape? The answer might be right at their fingertips. A warning for parents coming up. And Burke's buyers this morning one-on-one with a new owner of the ski resort. But first, Calvin Cutler tells us how it was sold out of receivership following the Kingdom Con.
It's the big reveal for an iconic Northeast Kingdom ski resort. Bear Den Partners, a group of investors and ski resort operators, outlined their vision for Burke Mountain Resort going forward. After 9 years in receivership, $11.5 million, and a unanimous vote from nearby homeowners, Burke Mountain Resort now has new owners. Bear Den Partners, made of Ken Graham, John Schaefer, and the head of Burke Mountain Academy, Willie Booker, introduced themselves to the community Tuesday.
It's like a fairy tale outcome for our school.
With over 2,000 feet of vertical terrain, 4 lifts, and 54 trails, Burke will be on the Indy Pass alongside Jay Peak and Bolton Valley. Despite the mountain being further from Boston, Burlington, and Montreal than other ski areas, Bear Den sees it as a destination. The aim is to leverage Burke's proximity to Interstate 91 and Kingdom Trails, and to offer more year-round activities like camping, with the hope of turning it into a 4-season resort.
For people who wish to enjoy authentic Vermont and authentic Northeast Kingdom, it's worth the extra drive.
They're hoping to tap into frosty feelings from some in the ski and ride community towards large corporate resorts.
It is a true throwback mountain that's untainted by corporate stain,
while working to maintain the old-school, local Vermont ski area vibe. The sale of Burke marks the end of another chapter of the Kingdom Con, but there are still unanswered questions, like the future of the gaping hole in downtown Newport. Reporting at Burke Mountain Resort, Calvin Cutler, Channel 3 News.
Calvin, thank you. The Kingdom Con wasn't just a cash crisis. 120 foreign investors who ponied up $500,000 each for investments were also shorted their green cards through the EB-5 program. The Vermont Attorney General's office tells us through appeals, 67 have now been approved. 7 cases are still pending before U.S. Customs and Immigration Services. Joining us now, John Schaefer, one of the new owners you just heard from. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. So let's begin with the purchase, $11.5 million. Where does that money go? Does it go back to those foreign investors who were swindled in the Kingdom Con?
It makes its way there by way of the receiver and a court order, which will happen later this year.
What took so long to get a deal done? We're talking 9 years. Have you been trying to buy it that whole time?
I've been on the periphery for at least 4 or 5 of those years, and it was a real passion project. I love Burke. Our whole group of buyers loves Burke. We're part of the community, and we've been working our way at it. But a receivership of this complexity is very difficult for everybody involved. Employees, buyers, sellers, so it's a complicated process.
Let's dive deeper into the improvements you and your partners plan to make at Burke. Let's start with snowmaking, with plans to triple that. How does that work? Are there hurdles and permits needed before you can make that happen?
Burke has a lot of great resources, one of which is an existing permit structure that allows for more usage of water on the mountain. And we just plan to work within the limits of our existing permit structure and add the technology around it to do a better job of making snow. So it's part of the deferred maintenance on the resort is to fix those items. And we're going to attack snowmaking and a lot of others.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You want Burke to become a 4-season resort. Big plans there, too. Hotel upgrades, trail upgrades, camping, as Calvin just said, and to link up with another big hit in the NEK. That's the Kingdom Trails. Walk us through each of these projects and the timeline to get them done.
Well, on the trail and Kingdom Trails front, so the trail lift and Kingdom Trails, we do need permitting, and we're going to have to work with our state and community partners to get that work done. And we're doing the preamble to that now. So starting on the wetlands permitting, the siting, the master planning. But the things that we can control, we're avid bikers, skiers, riders, and lovers of Burke in the Northeast Kingdom. So we're going to get right after what we can. It's an across-the-board upgrade. Our thesis is that skiers like to go up the mountain as many times as possible and down as many different types of trails as possible. And we're starting there and working our way out.
Are you adding trails, and what about this camping proposal?
Camping, so on Mount, there's an existing campground, TBD, whether it's in the perfect spot or not. We own thousands of acres of land that came with this resort, and we're going to look at the best spots to put a great campground that integrates both with the ski area and the Kingdom trails.
And are you adding ski trails?
Yes, we will be upgrading existing ski trails, and in the future we'll look to add in additional new parts of the mountain. There's been a master plan that's been floated around since the mid-2000s, and they did a really good job laying out a major expansion, TBD on whether we ever get to that point. But we're going to take some of the ground truthing that those guys did and integrate it with our future master planning.
In addition to the camping, what else will make this a 4-season resort?
We're looking at snow tubing and great events and live music. Food and beverage is a key component of what we're bringing to Burke. So having really good food and beverage outlets, pair it with live music and a great mountain bike ride or fall foliage, just really leaning into the things that Burke has or has the ability to roll out easily, and just activating it across the board. We think that we can help bring Burke back to life. It's been on the receivership, hospital bed for 9 or 10 years, and it's our job to turn it all back on, light by light by light.
Do you have the bank for all of these improvements, or will you need to raise the capital? If so, how?
We've put aside cash to do the project without bank financing. We're going to look at Efficiency Vermont grants. A lot of the work that we're doing will come in the form of efficiency upgrades, or will make us eligible for efficiency upgrades. And we're going to look at other ways to stretch a dollar, partner with existing grant structures, and potentially raise debt or different forms of capital, but we're not there yet.
How do you compete for skiers and riders in such a rural part of Vermont?
One skier and rider at a time, and you do the best you can by them. And our victories are going to be counted in onesies and twosies, in a family here and a group over there. And I've operated ski areas my entire life, and that's how we measure our victories. And so we're, a lot of ski areas are in rural areas. There's a general attitude of why not us as you look at your neighbors. But my attitude is let's just fix the basics that we have at the resort. Let those upgrades speak for themselves, and then those trial users are going to come back with a great experience for their friends and family and be great promoters for us.
As we said, you are partnering with Jay and Bolton for the Indy Pass. How did that partnership come about?
Well, the Indy Pass it's a nationwide entity that sprung up during COVID, or maybe just a hair before, and it really create the vernacular of independent ski areas. And Berkshire East was an early adopter, as was Jay and Bolton Valley. And Burke was the logical next fit for a northern resort. It's a proud independent mountain. The Northeast Kingdom is a proud independent place. And it's a perfect fit.
Speaking of the Indy, part of your marketing will be about that independence and the focus on local. And there are local ties here with the other owners and you. Walk us through your connections to Vermont, to Burke.
So the Graham family has been part of the Burke community for over 50 years. They've been huge supporters of the Academy as well as the ski area, owning it once previously when it was nearly bankrupt. Somebody wanted to convert it to a tent company, and they stepped in and saved it as a resort. They've helped invest with multiple pieces of infrastructure on the mountain in the form of lifts and the T-bar, and they're general supporters of the community at large. My wife is from St. Johnsbury, so I've spent a lot of vacation time up there. My mother-in-law lives on mountain. So, you know, I spent a lot of Christmases staring up at that mountain trying to figure out how we could do it better. And eventually, I wrote a business plan, met with the Grahams, and 4.5 years later, here we are.
And you've, as you said, run other mountains as well. You also skied at Middlebury?
Correct. Yeah, I skied and coached at the Middlebury ski team.
So for those of us who grew up skiing at Burke, I learned to ski there, full disclosure, and who love that local vibe, will that remain?
100%. Berkshire East and Catamount are local resorts. I grew up running a local mountain and being a local skier myself. And if we change that, then somebody needs to hunt us down and, you know, give us a talking to, because that's not what we're here to do. We are flag bearers of local community-based ski areas.
John Schaefer, one of the Burke Mountain owners, thank you for being here. Take care.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Next, they took the titles and now they're on a mission. Meet the new Miss Vermont and new Miss Vermont's team after the break.
If you have to ask why it's important to start your day early, here's your answer.
Wake up to a sausage McMuffin with egg for $3 and any size iced coffee for $1.29.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can start it with a splash. With a play date at a park. Or at a party with friends. Or at an epic water balloon fight. Gotcha!
Now, from the longest-lasting brand, you could get $4.99 for $60 on a Land Cruiser Hybrid with unrivaled heritage. Plus, every new Toyota comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Olay! I got this wow skin from Olay Body Wash. It's new super serum with 5 powerful ingredients. 5 benefits in one. My skin goes from dull to luminous. For me, it's only Olay Super Serum Body Wash.
Travel can make you smell kind of funky, but aluminum-free Secret Whole Body Deodorant gives me 72-hour whole body freshness.
For long layovers, surprise gate changes, and heavy luggage.
And it's totally middle seat approved. Secret, no sweat.
They say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Well, they are correct.
Grab any size iced coffee for $1.29 and pair it with a bagel sandwich.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Crowning moments for a pair of Vermonters. That's Sophia Parker winning the title of Miss Vermont 2025 and Emma Danaher being crowned Miss Vermont's Teen 2025. Parker is 26 from Addison and graduated from Castleton University. She's a registered nurse in the emergency department at UVM Medical Center. She's also in the Vermont National Guard. Danaher is 16 from Essex and is a sophomore in high school. She too plans to get into the medical field, and both of them join us this morning. Thank you for being here and congratulations to you both.
Thank you for having us. It's so good to be here.
You got it. So in addition to the Guard, where you're a medic, and being an ED nurse, Miss Vermont Sophia Parker, you're also helping animals heal. Tell us about that.
So my platform for Miss Vermont is something that's been near and dear to my heart since I was a child. My mom and I run Otter Creek Wildlife Rescue in Addison, which is a nonprofit dedicated to caring for injured and orphaned wildlife. It has been a nonprofit since I was about 13 years old, and it's a pleasure to be able to help Vermont's wildlife and the people who care about them.
And so what do you do over the next year as Miss Vermont and with this platform?
So as Miss Vermont, one, I get the chance to represent Vermont at Miss America. But the thing I'm most excited about is to have the opportunity to travel our beautiful state and speak to, schools, civic organizations, Vermonters of all ages and from all walks of life, both about my community service and also just about the value of service and how they can get involved and find their passion and make a difference in the world.
And Miss Vermont's teen, Emma Danaher, you're pursuing a career in the medical field as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I've had lots of involvement with the American Heart Association, and while volunteering with them, I've met lots of people also in the medical field. A doctor who's the head of cardiology at UVMMC, Prospero Gogo, actually invited me to shadow him, and I went to watch him do surgery. And I also watched clinic, which was really fun, and I'm really glad that I got the opportunity. Also, while I was there, I met one of the 13% of all cardiologists who are women. Her name was Audrey Reddy, and she's so inspiring, and they encouraged me to also pursue a career in cardiology, and I hope to become a part of that 14% of women.
Nice, nice. So, and we wish you luck in that. That's really cool.
Thank you.
There are scholarships involved here too, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So how much do you get and where does it go?
So as Miss Vermont, I got $7,500, which I can put towards education. So one of the big emphasis of the Miss Vermont organization is scholarships. We don't get a cash prize. What we get is money to put towards our education or towards student loans if you have student loans. So I can put this money towards becoming a nurse practitioner someday, or towards whatever higher education path I choose beyond my RN.
And you're putting it toward becoming a cardiologist?
Yes. So the Miss America organization actually is partners with the University of Alabama, so that's where I will be planning to go. And if you choose to go to Bama and get in, it's a full ride.
Wow,
yeah.
That's incredible. You know, in the 80 years of Miss Vermont, we're the only state, as far as I know, that has never had a top 10 placement. Why do you think that is?
I think that in Vermont, we often focus more on everyday life and on the service aspect of the crown, which personally is my favorite. But oftentimes the bigger states put so much emphasis into the pageantry aspect, and sometimes Vermont doesn't keep up in that aspect. However, we have a chance this year to potentially be in the top. It would be, for me, the first top 10 at Miss America, and for you it would be the first top 5, right, at Miss America's teen?
I really look up to Miss Vermont's teen 2023, Ginger Regacious, because she was the first Miss Vermont's teen to make it to top 10. So my hope is this year to make it to top 5.
And we hope the same for you guys. You know, some people are critical of pageants, though, as you know. They worry that they may objectify women. What do you say to those people?
So my experience with this organization, I've actually been involved with the Miss Vermont organization for over 10 years. I started competing at 15 years old and won the title of, it was then Miss Vermont's Outstanding Teen in 2015. And so I've gotten to see firsthand what this organization is really about. And what it's truly about is women supporting women, growing skills that will help you in every aspect of life. I mean, I can attribute the skills that I learned from the Miss Vermont organization to the reason that I got into the school I did, the reasons I've gotten the jobs I did, why I've done well in the military. What we're learning here are life skills that will help you in every area of your life. And these women, I mean, they're your biggest cheerleaders. I would come to any member of this board or any one of these girls about any situation involving pageantry or anything else in life and trust them to genuinely have my best interests at heart.
What do you think?
Going off of what Sophia said, I would tell them the truth. I have made some of my best friends while competing for Miss Vermont's teen. I have learned so many skills like confidence. This is my 3rd year competing, and I have come so far since my first year. I was 14 in 8th grade. And yeah, I just tell them the truth and encourage them to compete if they want to pursue get further in their education.
When are your national pageants?
September.
Yes.
It's coming up very soon.
Yeah, that's quick. How do you prepare?
So we have a list of really remarkable sponsors that we work with to get ready. Everything from coaching to hair to photography to things like that. And then to working with Pure Barre, right?
Yes.
For ensuring that we're as fit as we can possibly be on the national stage. And then also just working with the board members and doing everything that we can to make sure, I mean, we already have our CSIs developed, we already have that, but just to make sure that we're able to portray that as well as possible on the national stage.
Another big part I'd say is mindset and working together and with the board and our parents and our support systems to continue to make sure that we're okay and feeling like our best selves and confidence and have the best mindset going into Miss America weekend.
Yeah, that's such a good point too.
We'll be watching, and we're definitely rooting for both of you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and good luck.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so good to be here. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks. Next, data shows vaping among Vermont students is down, but our investigators found that online retailers are still exploiting loopholes to ship vapes to teens. We'll show you how.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go here, surf's up, here, woo, and here.
Now, from the longest-lasting brand, you could get a $305 a month lease on a turbocharged Tacoma 4x4. Plus, every new Toyota comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Your summer starts here and just keeps on going.
Toyota, let's go places.
We need some help.
I know. I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. And if approved, we can have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need.
Vaping usage among high schoolers in Vermont is down. Health department officials tell us vaping decreased to 16% in 2023 from a peak of 26% in 2019. Though officials are still concerned about frequency of use, with 37% of high schoolers who vape doing so every day. State law prohibits online sales except for businesses buying in bulk. But as our national investigator Rachel DePompa shows us, retailers are still finding loopholes to get vapes into teens' hands.
How did this happen when he knew the dangers?
Donna Bartlett has read this letter countless times to lawmakers across this country, hoping for change. It's about her son, who became addicted to vaping as a junior in high school. He went from a straight-A student and star athlete to struggling with school and having respiratory issues.
I don't want to ever have to see another parent go through seeing their son or daughter gasping for breath on a field that they used to dominate.
It's been illegal since 2019 for any retailer to sell any tobacco product to anyone under 21. That law includes e-cigarettes, also known as vapes.
A lot of the kids are getting them illegally. I mean, you can go online and buy stuff.
Bartlett is right. We were able to get through easy age verification questions on multiple websites that sell vapes. Now, some sites did stop us because they use website age checkers that verify your information against public records. But not every site does this. Some online vape sellers never even asked our age. Within seconds, we had our carts loaded and ready to pay. But what we found on social media was even more alarming.
We found vapes for sale on TikTok, even though the company says the products are banned. Here's what's happening. Instead of using the word vape, which is flagged, buyers and sellers are using different language, calling them things like sensory packs or fidget toys. This TikTok seller writing, discreet packaging, no ID. So we started ordering. One third-party seller messaged us privately and said, I'm so sorry that the shop was been shut down. TikTok canceled your order. Then they directed us to their website off TikTok and said our order will not get canceled for sure. Discreet packaging, no ID. So we ordered there too. And that canceled TikTok shop order ended up not being canceled. We got that vape too. TikTok Shop is only available if your account settings show you're 18 and older. After we showed TikTok what we bought, a company spokesperson told us, we strictly prohibit these products for sale on TikTok Shop and have banned the sellers offering the identified products. The shops we bought from are gone.
Do we have an e-cigarette problem in this country when it comes to kids?
Yeah, we have a significant problem.
These boxes arrive almost daily to Dr. Michelle Peace's forensics lab at Virginia Commonwealth University. They're filled with vapes confiscated from students at schools across Virginia.
There are some school systems that have told us that they think that as much as 40 to 50% of their students are vaping.
In 10 years, she and her students have analyzed more than 4,000 products. Last fall, for example, 85% of the samples they tested contained nicotine. 15% had THC. Dr. Peace says she often goes online as a secret shopper to see how easy it is to get around age verification.
Can someone lie?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
As for Donna,
I mean, our goal is to educate and get these vapes off the market for these kids.
even as her son still struggles with vaping, she won't stop telling his story.
And if you're wondering what you can do as a parent, experts tell us it starts with having frank conversations with your kids. If a package in the mail smells fruity, open it. If your child's room smells the same, it's time to talk. You can also check their payment apps on their phones and make sure they're not able to make purchases without your authorization. Thank you for watching this Sunday morning. I'm Darren Perrin. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.